Great news, Howlers! We finally got a release date for the final Red Rising book. What's that? It's not the final Red Rising book? Hey, what's up, bookworms and howlers? Mike back today to finally talk some more Red Rising Saga by Pierce Brown. Well, here's the thing, guys. We did get that big announcement at Comic-Con like we were kind of told we were probably going to get, and it was pertaining to book number 6 in the Red Rising Saga. Now, that book is going to be called Lightbringer, and it's going to be coming out May 16th of 2023. Great news. It's kind of bittersweet when you realize that that is not the last book in this series. Now, what I mean, guys, look, for me, more Red Rising is always going to be better than less. So in this case, simple math, 2 books greater than 1 book, right? I think the reaction from a lot of people, though, is that we had built ourselves up to believing that this was the end, and I had planned all kinds of stuff on the channel around this being the end of that story. So what does it change? What does this mean for the channel that we are now going to have a 7th book titled Red God? Great name, by the way. So what does that mean with it? Look, the plan has always been to do a reread and a kind of like a retrospective, a re-review. I did reviews on the channel early for this series when the channel was first getting started. They're terrible, don't watch them. So I'd always said I wanted to go back and redo them into, the format that I have today. So because that was when the series was ending them, because I wanted to be able to say, hey, we did a reread leading up to it, and we're going to finish it together. We're going to finish this war together, right? Well, it didn't quite happen that way, but again, I'm always going to be happy about more Red Rising books. Now, here, the thing with that is that he did say, okay, look, Book 6 comes out in May of 2023. And originally it said Book 7 to be determined. And that was the big like, oh man, really? So you just decided we're not going to finish it. But then on his Instagram later, he said Book 7 will be coming soon after that. So I don't believe that this is something that he hasn't read. He might not be done writing it, but it's not like he still has yet to start on it. He's not like he's just saying, you know what, I decided I'm going to finish this one, take a big break, and then I'll write book 7 at the end. It sounds like he's already got it written at least, or pretty close to it. So that's good. That's good news. Hopefully we won't have as long of a wait. I know with him, he doesn't seem like the type who really teases his fans. I don't think he wants to give us a date on that 2nd book until he knows for sure. So I think that's what it is. That's why he said at first to be determined, because he just doesn't want to make his fans feel like they're going to have to wait a long time in between books. So I am rather optimistic in that we might not get it in 2023, but we might be with less than a year before we get book number 7. At least that is the hope. So guys, I have talked about this series a lot on the channel. I'm going to get into that in a minute here. I just want to say I still plan to fully go ahead with the reread and retrospective. And that will probably be the biggest thing about today's video. But kind of set the stage, if you haven't really read Red Rising, I've talked about it on the channel multiple times. I did a why you should read Red Rising, which is my hard sell. Everything that I kind of put into a why you should read back then, the exciting, dramatic reading, and then, of course, talking about why I think that you would enjoy reading this series. With my why you should read stuff, it's usually stuff that I would call a people pleaser. It's going to be easy for audiences to really attach themselves to it. And it's one of those series I feel like if you just give it a chance, once you get to about book 2, you're going to know if the series is for you or not. Because when I started, I wasn't really wild about book 1, but it's a series that gets darker and darker and darker as it goes. And I talked about that when I did the good and the bad of this series. Now, that was kind of like an extended version of Why You Should Read, really kind of more like an add-on. It was kind of the extended sales job, in that if you're still quite on the fence, here's some things I think, if you like these things, do it. If you don't like these things, it might not be for you. But the thing I get the most with the series was, I tried that first book, man. It's Hunger Games on Mars, and I'm not really into that. Look, I was not wild about book number 1. My review, as terrible as it is, I was really harsh on it, and I considered not continuing. So that's why I've said read at least through book number 2, which I consider one of the best science fiction books I've ever read, and then I think you will decide if the series is for you or not. So that is always something I'm going to recommend. So watch those 2 videos if you haven't. Like I said, those original reviews, almost unwatchable, guys. It was when I first started the channel. The audio doesn't match my lips. I'm still recording off of a webcam that looks like it comes from a Nokia phone from the year 2002. It was, a learning process on this channel. But if you want to just kind of, just minimize the screen and listen to it, my thoughts are probably still the same. But be wary, that first review is spoilers. However, I digress. I want to re-review these, give it the proper treatment that it deserves today. Kind of like I'm doing with First Law right now, where I'm going through and giving those the standard review treatment that I currently have on the channel and have for a couple years now, just because it's a series I love. I love these characters, so I want to kind of talk about this series again with everyone, give it the attention it deserves. And the whole plans for this were always going to be a reread / read along. So if you're a first-time reader, obviously, you are welcome. And I had a ton of questions about, with this new announcement, how does that affect your thing? Are you still going to be following through with the reread and, of course, the re-reviews and all those things? So yes, I am, and we're going to kind of talk about that now. So here's what we plan to do, guys. Because the first trilogy isn't that super long. Now, here's the thing. This series gets longer and longer. Each book is longer than the previous book. So the thing is this first trilogy, okay, look, this first book, Red Rising, is about 350 pages on hardcover. It's really not going to take anything. Anyone on this channel is an epic fantasy reader, that's small. This is smaller than a Michael Crichton book, guys. So I don't think this is going to be a problem to say that our plans in January and February of 2023 is to read Red Rising, to read Golden Sun, and of course, read Morning Star. Now, here's the deal with this. I know that people are like, whoa, you're doing 3 books in 2 months. We're not going to be doing one per month on this because I don't want to start in December because everybody's got like holidays and things like that here in the States. So the reason is because these books are kind of short. I feel like we could do all 3 of them in 2 months. So January, February, look, Red Rising's 350 pages. Golden Sun's about 450 and Morning Star's 500. So they do get longer, but again, guys, you aren't reading Malazan here. You are going to fly through these books. They are very easy to read. They're page turners. Every chapter just about is a cliffhanger, so you're going to want to keep going. This original trilogy, literally people read it in a week. My wife read it in a week, and she hasn't started reading the sequels yet because she wanted a release date for the end of the series. Now, as far as if she's going to join us, we'll find out because she might be saying, nope, I'm waiting for book 7. But anyway, I don't think it'll be a problem for you to do these 3 books in 2 months, January and February of 2023. And if you can't, no big deal, guys, because we got plenty of time after that, because then we're moving to the once per month kind of way of going here. And one of those is going to kind of be like an extended month. So for the month of March, we're going to be doing Iron Gold. This is the first in the sequel trilogy, and that is going to be about 600 pages. Because like I said, they do get longer. But again, I do feel like these books read ridiculously fast. I know a lot of people say that, oh, it's a quick read. Now, I'm talking about someone who reads only, not someone who audios, because I know a lot of people say that when they audio it, and it's different when you try to read it. But me, as just a reader only, I can tell you guys, these are quick reads because they are just so quick, so fast-paced, and like I said, each chapter almost is like a cliffhanger, and you're going, at this point, with Iron Gold, I feel like you're going to know these characters, you're going to easily get into a lot of the newer characters and things like that, and you're just going to, don't let the page count intimidate you. It's not anything that's going to be super intimidating, but even again, a month, guys. You got a month to do this. And then April of 2023, and pretty much the first 2 weeks of May, because Lightbringer doesn't come out until May 16th. Then we'll be doing the Big Daddy. This is Dark Age. Now, guys, this one is 800 pages, and this is a long read. I think it's an amazing, amazing book. I'm just saying, of the 5, I think this will be the one, obviously, not just because of length, but because of content. There are some things that might say, okay, that might take you a little while to get through. There are some things, and we can talk about that when I review these, guys, because I've never reviewed Iron Gold or Dark Age on the channel, because I used to say it was because those first 3 reviews didn't get very much traffic, but they didn't get very much traffic because they were terrible reviews, guys. I had like no format back then at all. I was just like, let me turn the camera on and see what happens. And obviously I got a little bit more structure now, but yeah, Dark Age, amazing, amazing book, but I can see it taking some time for people to get through because it is an 800-page book, guys, but it's got a lot more stuff that's different, I think, than the first 4 books. And I don't want people thinking that means it's bad. Definitely not. I think it's probably my 3rd favorite in the series, so it's a great book. But here guys, you got to pick a worst book in the series, and yeah, it's something's got to come in last, right? But no, Iron Gold and Dark Age, I think, are great. A lot of people only like that first trilogy. They don't really like the sequel books. Me, if Lightbringer and Red God stick the landing, I'll like the sequel trilogy more than the original. So it kind of depends on what you're looking for. Now, this is a series like I have told people, is don't judge it by that first book. Because I feel like this was him holding your hand, you people who read Hunger Games. He's holding your hand saying, okay, you liked this. Well, here's this first book. They'll kind of make you feel familiar. And then he gets darker and darker and grimdarkiest by the time you get to Dark Age, where I've said I felt like that Joe Abercrombie is ghostwriting the sequel trilogy. So it's a very, very adult series, I think, has gotten a bad rap, almost like Jay Kristoff stuff has. But I went over all that in all those other videos. I want to kind of repeat myself. So right now the plan is to read those, review those, maybe do I would like to either do a spoiler talk, or if I've got enough people on board, other booktubers on board, maybe I can do a spoiler discussion, like we did with that Dragonbone Chair discussion or something like that. Maybe that could be something that we could do on the channel if there is enough discussion. Now, I know this sounds like a lot of content for a series that my audience has seemed pretty lukewarm on, honestly, because I want to sell this series to everybody, because I don't think it gets enough attention, and I do think it's one of the best ongoing series out there right now. So I'm always going to just stand up and preach for this series, and that's kind of what I want to do here. I just want to put more eyes on this series because I think it's just spectacular. And look, guys, a bucket list item for this channel, I'll go ahead and be honest with you here, is to have an interview with the author discussion with Pierce Brown. Now, I did meet Pierce Brown at a book signing. It was actually for this book right here. I went to the book signing and talked to him for a few minutes. I'd say probably about 10. He took his time talking to each one of us. I'm going to show you his autograph if I can find it here. It's in here somewhere. Okay. Yeah. So he signed all my books, and guys, yes, these are all first editions, so I will be hunting down wherever he has a book signing. Hopefully, Pierce, if you ever watch this, I doubt it, but I hope you come to Austin again, because that's where I met you last time. Or hell, make it Houston. Save some money, save some gas money. But I would definitely love to have him on the channel. I've always kind of got the idea he's not made it a big secret that he does not really social media while he's writing very much. Like, he would post something on his Instagram once in a great while, and that was kind of it. So now hopefully that he's done writing, or if you know him, he might just be going right back into the grind and finishing book 7. But hopefully around sometime before this book comes out, I can finagle him into coming on the channel. I hope he does. He follows me on Instagram, so hopefully he knows that I am very much a preacher for this series. So that would be a great thing. One of my earliest videos on the channel, by the way, is that book signing. If you want to watch that and some of the talk, some of the discussion that he had with the audience there. Really, really fun time. Even though, like I said, it was, again, while the channel was first getting started. So don't expect the amazing production value we have today. I mean, I think it's good. I wouldn't say it's amazing, but by comparison, it is. But yeah, that's kind of I hope you're excited, guys. I mean, that's really pretty much it. I hope you're excited to join this reread/read along. Got plenty of time to get the resources together. If you want to get them digital, you want to get the audiobooks. I've heard the audiobooks are great, by the way. You guys know I don't audio, but I've heard the audiobooks are great. I believe Tim Reynolds, that's his name, the Irish feller. He's the one that does the audiobooks for these, at least the first 3, because books 4 and 5 do multiple POVs, and yeah, I think you get new voice actors for that. I'm not really sure. I'm the wrong person to ask about that. But if you are wanting to get a physical edition, I do know right before I started recording this that Amazon in the US is selling all 5 books in a bundle right now for $26. That's a great, great deal. So I'm going to put that link down below if you want to do that. So guys, again, it's a series that I love. I'm excited that there's new content coming. I'm excited that we do know the end, the last book in the series now. We know that name, Red God, which is just an... Look, Lightbringer, okay, I've got kind of those Brent Weeks flashbacks, but with Red God, that's just an awesome name, ain't it? That's a great, great title. So it's like this point, it's like, I don't even care what the book is. That's a 10 out of 10 title right there. So very, very exciting times for the Red Rising community. So guys, have you read this series? Do you plan to reread with me? Because I'm beginning to think that on a reread, I might actually like that first book a lot more because I'm more connected to those characters now. So I might actually feel those moments that I didn't feel really the first read through this time around. And yeah, it's just gonna be exciting. It's gonna be exciting. It's gonna be like hanging out with old friends again that you haven't seen in a long time, because I haven't touched this series since Dark Age in 2019, I think. So I'm excited to go back and hang out with the Reaper. So guys, drop in the comments, let me know if you would like to join me. Please try to keep the comments spoiler free in case people are still interested for this series, but let me know how excited you are about books 6 and 7 and if you plan to join us on this read along / reread. I cannot wait to talk to you guys about it. Have an awesome, awesome week.